So, we're going to discuss from Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 2, text number 34 and 35. There are small shlokas in the sense there is a small purport. So we'll try to cover both the shlokas today. Lord is explaining about to Arjuna, if he does not do his duty of fighting, he will hitva kirtim. He will lose his reputation, and he will also incur sin. So like this. So now how his akirti will happen, how he will lose his kirti. Kirti means how will lose his fame, how people will blaspheme him, that the Lord is telling in detail. Is it clear? How he will be blasphemed by the people, that will be explained by the Lord in this shloka. So please chant after me. Akirtim chapi bhutani katisyanti te avyayam sambhavitasya chakirtir maranad atirichyate. Akirtim chapi bhutani katisyanti te avyayam sambhavitasya chakirtir maranadatirichyate. Okay, let us first see the translation. Akirtim, infamy, cha, also, api, over and above, bhutani, all people, katishyanti, will speak, te, of you, avyayam, forever, sambhavitasya, for a respectable man, cha, also, akirtihi, ill fame, maranat, than death, atirichyate, becomes more. So let me read the translation. People will always speak of your infamy, and for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. Go back to Sanskrit shloka. Akirtim cha api bhutani. So bhutani means other people. They will spread. No. Yes. Akirtim cha api bhutani. That means your infamy will spread among all living entities. Everybody will know about it. You are such a famous person. Where you see, you will become very famous. Samaj mein kalank lag jayega. That is the point he want to say. The whole society, your infamy will spread. Some people have the argument, badnaam hongi to kya naam nahi hoga. Even if I become infamous, still I become famous. But that is not the argument for people who are righteous. It's like we also know Veerappan. He was like a great robber. That is not a proper way for a person to be known like that. Okay. I explained that earlier also. Suppose somebody is a very great brahmachari and his infamy is somehow that spread that he is a womanizer. That's a very bad thing for him, is it not? For a sannyasi or a brahmachari to be like that. So similarly for Kshatriya, to have his infamy being spread that he's a coward is worse than death. Same things. It's worse than death for a sannyasi to have such kind of allegation on him. Similarly, it is worse than death for Kshatriya, like to be called that he is a coward. They will say, and it's not that it will stop after death. Katishyanti te avyam. Avyam we have we have heard several times. Avya means which doesn't decay. If you reflect on this word several times for the soul, we have heard this word avyaya. Avyaya means spend. Jada vyay mat karo. We say in Hindi, don't spend too much. So now avyaya means it cannot. No, sorry, but I make a mistake. Vyaya means which is spend, to spend. Avyaya means which will not decay. So avyayam means that people will speak of your infamy for a long time. Actually, your infamy will not go away. Does it make sense? Just like you see the kirti of, just like understand, kirti of Prahlad Maharaj is avyay, not akirti. Kirti, the glories of Prahlad Maharaj are indestructible. You know when Prahlad Maharaj came not in this Trita Yoga, he came in Chakshush Manvantar. It means this Manvantar which is before of this Manvantar. So already how many 28 Yuga cycles of this Manvantar has passed, and in the previous Chakshush Manvantar he has come. So still we know him as if like this happened just yesterday, is it not? So Prahlad Maharaj Kirti is aware. Kirti, fame is aware. So similarly, a person who has done wrong, his akirti, infamy will be spread for long. Just like we know about Vishwamitra. Every time there is a problem about women or being what is it, lust and all those things, first example is Vishwamitra. Although he's a great sage, is it not? Or Indra associating with Ahalya, all those things. So they did one thing wrong and the whole world knows about it. It's amazing. The Shastra also, it is written in Shastra also what they did wrong. It's quite, and there is one is a demigod, one is a rishi, and even, so there are many cases. So it says, it is not going away also. People still give so many examples in the classes also. So the idea is, you are a most famous person, and for you, there will be infamy, and it's not that people will forget your infamy. They will keep on talking about it. They will keep on giving example how a Kshatriya should not behave. Just like you see, Arjuna behaved like this. Are you able to understand the depth of what Lord is saying? Yes. Okay. Sambhavitasya. You see, Sambhavitasya means a person who is very respectable. Bhavya. Bhavya word you have heard. So Bhavya is normally glorious. So Bhavya is glorious, Mahan. So Bhavitasya is coming from that word Bhavya. That means a person who is, and Sambhavitasya, Samyak Bhavya. Very nicely Bhavya, very nicely glorious. So for a person who is very nicely respected, very nicely glorious, Cha Akirti, for him infamy is Maranad Atirichyate. It is even bad than death. See, if a person is bad, for him infamy is not a problem. For Hiranyakashipu, infamy is not a problem. Rather, when he was said, "Oh, best among the demons," he felt very happy. Just like, I'm just joking, if any of you is being called, "Oh, best among the asuras," or "Oh, best among the she-asuras," you feel very offended. What is this? I am the asura. But for asura like Hiranyakashipu, he says, Asura Varya Dehinam, Asura Varya. Prahlad Maharaj addresses him, Asura Varya. Oh, best among the demons, oh, best among the asuras. He feels very proud. Yes. Very well. You know, the same thing, I think those devotees know about Haridas Thakur. So when Haridas Thakur was asked by Qazi, you have taken such a high birth as a Muslim. Why you have taken the low religion of Hindus? You know, so he's thinking that Muslims are very great or Hindus are less and like that. Nobody is great or less. The person who accepts Krishna, a supreme personality of Godhead, he is the best. But he's thinking like this with all his bad activities, eating cow flesh and everything. Still he's thinking, oh, I'm very great. And same thing, Hindus also. They will have one person, I remember in IIT, he was chewing pan and all those things. And they say, Hum bhi Brahman hai. I'm also Brahman. If Swami chanting Hare Krishna, I'm also Brahman. And Kacha, instead of Shruti, you have Surti. So what kind of Brahman you are? But the idea is that for a person who's infamous, or you can use this if you're feeling cold, you can use this like. So, or use this. No. So now the idea is a person who's infamous, for him, no problem. Just like another example, you will understand. Suppose somebody has been failing in the exams every time. So this time he also failed. Who cares? You know, is it not? But somebody gets a 10-pointer. You know, in IIT used to get 10 points and like that. Not I'm saying in IIT people used to get 10 points. I did not get 10 points. So those who don't get 10 points, it is worse than death. And I will tell you a real incident. I was in first year of IIT and I heard of a girl in IIT Bombay. She used to get always 10 points. First, second, and I think in second or something, she got some 8 point or 8.5 or 9.5. She committed suicide. She couldn't. This is how bodily conception actually affects. So we have examples of like this, is it not? I'll give another example. Have you heard that sometimes in a village, the daughter of a respectable family ran away with the boy, then they somehow caught them and they actually killed them? We hear that this sometimes happening. So for them, the respect is more important than death. Is it not? Also, we have heard how the queens of Maharana Sangha, I believe. Yes, Maharana Sangha. So they thought that our king has been killed. Now Muslims will come and pollute us. So they committed, what is it, Johar? The Johar, you understand? They commit, voluntarily they gave up their life. We know about this. And this respect was a very great thing, very, very important thing in Indian culture. Is it not? Now you understand this point. So for it, and you see again you see, we know Mahabharata. And when Arjuna had taken a vow, I'll kill Jayadratha, otherwise I'll enter into fire. So his words were so important that when he could not kill Jayadratha, so he was about to enter fire. So you see, he was not fearing death. He actually was fearing that people will call him infamous. He will call him coward. So infamy was worse than death. Now you understand how infamy can be worse than death? Yes. Okay. And then what to talk of avyaya infamy? That means perpetual infamy. Infamy. This is a very deep thing for Arjuna. Okay. So now, Gita Bhushan commentary. Not only do you destroy your duty, but you also completely destroy your fame. Hitva dharmam akirtim cha. You will give up your dharma, you will give up your fame, and you will get sin. This is the point which we left over in the last sloka. That is we're continuing here. All the people will talk of your eternal infamy of fleeing at the commencement of the battle. Bhagya yudh dekhte hi bhagya, like this. They will not say that you are very compassionate, all that. Nobody will understand this. But from fear of death, I could tolerate the infamy. Suppose Arjuna asked, in the last sloka, the Lord has said, you will give up your dharma, you will give up your quality of being famous. Then Arjuna, no, I can tolerate. Are jaan to bachegi na? You remember that in that Virat Yuddha, where Arjuna was behaving like Birhanala, then Virat, the Yuvraj, how do you call Yuvraj in English? The crown prince. The crown prince, his name was Uttar. So he said, I can fight the whole Kauravas alone, but just I need somebody who can drive my chariot. Then Draupadi says, this Birhanala is here. She was driving, or he or she was driving the chariot of Arjuna. So you can take her. What? A woman will drive my chariot? No, she's very expert. Then he took him, he or she, whatever you can say, Arjuna took him in the form of Birhanala. And then when Uttar saw all the kings, he was fleeing. He was running away. Then Arjuna went behind him and caught him by neck and said, now you drive the chariot, I'll fight. So still it is very bad. Still we know that Uttar actually was coward in a sense. So like that. So you're getting the point? Okay. So now, but the point is, there he was a coward. So instead of saving, he wanted to save his life, not his kirti. Is it not? But Arjuna is not like this. Yes. Note, this argument of Arjuna would be hypothetical since he does not have such fear. However, since the outcome of battle and whether one lives or dies is uncertain, Manu recommends that one should try to avoid war as much as possible. So the idea was that because it will lead to so much killing, that war has to be avoided. But it's not that Arjuna was fearful of death. Just a hypothetical argument. No! Then Lord answers. If Arjuna poses such arguments, then say, no, death is preferable. Ati richyate. Richyate. I don't know the meaning of the word richyate. I have to find it on Sanskrit. It is preferable. It seems to be preferable. Ati richyate. Ruchyate. I am not able to remember. I have to find out how it comes out. Death is preferable to infamy for one who has attained such a high position. Sambhavitasya. That I have explained already. Somebody who is very glorious, to become infamous is worse than that. And I'll give the examples also. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Both as friend and philosopher to Arjuna, Lord Krishna now gives his final judgment regarding Arjuna's refusal to fight. The Lord says, Arjuna, if you leave the battlefield before the battle even begins, people will call you a coward. I would like to make a point in front here now. The Lord has explained as a philosopher to Arjuna by explaining him Atma Tattva. And now he's telling him as a friend by saying, if you give up dharma, you will become infamous. Are you able to understand those 2 points? Up till now, the Lord has explained, or previously we have heard that he has explained how the soul is indestructible and all that. So as a philosophy, he presented a philosopher. As a philosopher, he presented the philosophy of Atma. And he told that you should not lament. And now as a friend, he's telling, oh, my dear friend, my dear Arjuna, you see, you will give up your dharma, you will get sin, and you will also not attain heaven like that. So he's also telling as a friend to Arjuna also. In our normal conversation also, when we give consultancy, many times if I give some consultancy, I do talk about philosophy, but then I say, "Arey bhai, मैं आपके मित्र की तरह बोल रहा हूँ. I am talking to you as your friend." We also speak like this. So Krishna is doing in both ways. And if you think that people may call you bad names, but that will save your life by fleeing the battlefield, then my advice is that you would do better to die in the battle. You see, Srila Prabhupada is directly picking up the commentary. If you say, Arjuna is not saying, if you say that, oh, jaan to bachegi, somehow that I'll save my life, but no, it's better for you to die here than to live a life of infamy. For a respectable man like you, ill fame is worse than death. That we have explained already, how it happens. So you should not flee for fear of your life. Better to die in the battle. That will save you from the ill fame of misusing my friendship and from losing your prestige in society. So the final judgment is amazing, is it not? Ill fame of misusing my friendship. He's Krishna's friend, he's glorious. We cannot understand the glory of Arjuna, is it not? He's just talking to Krishna like, I can see you, I can see. Not even zoom, he just directly, Krishna is not zooming to Arjuna, he's just directly in front of him. Can you imagine that? It's glorious. So for such a person to behave like this is absolutely not appropriate. That's what he says. Several times he said, Kaunteya, you're son of Kunti. That means you're a son of Pandu. Partha, son of Pritha, like that. So this has been very nice. By saying these words, this is indicated that he's a great person. He should behave like a great person. A small pastime comes to my mind. We all know this, how, what is his name? Jatayu. Jatayu fought till the end of his life. It's beautiful and very inspiring. I mean, I feel my hair standing on my end when I remember this pastime. Beautiful pastime. How Jatayu fought to the best of his ability, knowing that he's old now and he cannot win over and try to, and can actually save Mother Sita from the clutches of Ravan. And when Ravan cut both of his wings, he fell down also. He was knowing that he's going to lose. But you see how glorious his life is. Even now we talk about his fame, is it not? When did Ramayana happen? Oh, not in this Trita Yuga, my dear devotees. Also previously. Amazing. And then so many, giddh ko kya kehte hain? Vultures are dying. Who cares about them? He was in a vulture body. But Lord Ram personally did, I think I remember he left the body in Lord Ram's hands, is it not? Can you imagine the fortune? And Lord Ram is how much affectionate, even though externally he failed in his mission. Lord Ram did not say, "Arey, you could not save my wife, this stupid vulture, leave." No. This is a very important point. Even in our, I'll tell you this point, it's a whole matter of attitude. With what attitude a person is doing, even if he fails, the Lord appreciates. I give a small example. Srila Prabhupada, one disciple of Srila Prabhupada, wrote a letter to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, I'm trying to follow the 4 regulative principles, but I'm failing. And he was crying. I'm failing again and again. What can I do? And hearing this, Prabhupada was crying. He said, how much this living entity, Prabhupada says, just see how much this living entity wants to attain Krishna, wants to be with Krishna. So you see, this is the whole matter of attitude. Even if a person is devotee is falling, is trying to do practice bhakti, if he falls again, still the Lord, so even he missed on his mission and could not complete it, still Lord appreciated. So what I want to say was, what is our attitude? Even if a devotee is constantly falling, but he sincerely wants to practice Krishna consciousness, that's what Krishna sees. Okay? We'll go forward on this point. Just why I mentioned this point, that even if a person is serving Krishna and he cannot execute fully, but he puts his full effort, he gets the blessing of the Lord. Okay. So the final judgment of the Lord was for Arjuna to die in the battle and not withdraw. Okay. Before I go forward, I give another example for Srimad Bhagavatam. It is being spoken by Vrittasur. Vrittasur is fighting Indra. Very beautiful if you read that section. And Indra takes a club and throws at Vrittasur. Vrittasur holds the club, catches it, and throws it back on the Airavat of Indra. So Airavat goes 12 yards behind and trips over. And Indra also falls back. So now Indra was fearful. He had Vajra, who had the power of Lord Vishnu. He was saying, if this was only club, if I now use my Vajra and if he catches Vajra and throws back at me, I will die. So he was fearful whether he should use this Vajra or not. Now, very nicely, Vrittasur was knowing that this Vajra has been made is amogha, it is infallible. If it is used, I will be killed. So he says to Indra, "Oh Indra, do not doubt the potency of this Vajra. You kill. I know I will be killed in this battle. Still, I am enthusiastically fighting." Amazing, is it not? Why he was enthusiastic? Because he said he knew that if I will be killed by Vajra, I'll go back to Godhead. That is destined for him. But that is a mood and attitude of a devotee. We should never think. A devotee should never think, what will happen to me? Will I become liberated or not become liberated? Nothing doing. Nothing doing, understand? Don't think about it. There is no doubt that you are already liberated, not a question of becoming liberated. You are hearing Bhagavad Gita, chanting Hare Krishna, taking prasadam, already liberated. And then when we go back to Godhead, that will be confirmed. Acha, I was liberated? Oh. You understand my point? When the Vaikuntha plane will come, Arey, it works, Baba. I should have preached. And Gaurang Prabhu makes a joke. He said, you should preach now, because maybe when you go to spiritual world, there is nobody to preach there. Everybody is already a senior devotee to you. Everybody is a pure devotee. So preach here, the opportunity is there. Again, I am repeating, only ISKCON is preaching. We have monopoly in this market. I am talking about pure bhakti. I am not talking about all kind of nonsense preaching which is happening. But pure devotional service, talking about pure bhakti, only ISKCON is preaching. Even if other people know, somehow they are not doing it. So the market is open for you. No, and their customers also, is it not? If there are no customers, then why you are here? I always give this example. If there are no customers, there are always some customers. Not only customers, people who are looking seriously, very eagerly for Krishna consciousness. Okay? We'll go forward. So, we'll go there. So, he should not run away. He will lose his fame. Please. Now, here the Lord will explain what they will say. Please chant after me. Bhayadranad uparatam mansyante tvam maharatha yesham cha tvam bahumato bhutva yasyasi laghavam. So, Lord is telling here that don't think your enemies will think that you have left the battle out of compassion. They will say, Bhayad Ranad Uparatam. Bhayad means out of fear. Ranad means from the battlefield. And Uparat means you have fled from the battlefield or stopped fighting because of fear. They will not say that you are a great man. You are a compassionate man. No, don't think like this. Because the Lord has explained that how by giving up his duty as a Kshatriya, he will gain infamy. So how he will gain infamy is explained here. Mansyante tvam maharata. Mansyante means they will believe like this about you. Maharatha means great people. It's not that simple, paltry, useless people will criticize you. Great people among whom you were considered great, they will criticize you. Yesham cha tvam bahubato. Yesham means all those people who considered you great. They will criticize you now. Bhutva yasasi laghavam. Bahumato means they considered you bahu, very big. And bhutva yasyasi laghavam. Now they will consider you lagu, very small. That your estimation in their eyes was very big. Whose eyes? Maharathas. Those who are very powerful, in their eyes you are very great and exalted. Just like suppose somebody says, Prabhuji, you are a pure devotee. Somebody new comes. And he says, Prabhuji, you are a pure devotee. you have your knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is like an ocean. So no, I mean, he does not know anything about Bhagavad Gita, and if you say something, it has no value. But suppose somebody who has proper knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and if he says that, yeah, you know, you are giving proper lectures, or your knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is good, then it is good, is it not? नहीं समझा रहा है. If suppose you have a knowledge of physics, and as a villager comes and says, you are a great physician, sorry, physicist, sorry, that has no value of saying. But a person who is a great, suppose Albert Einstein, he cannot come now, but suppose he says your knowledge of physics is very good, then that is a great, how to say, achievement, or you can say that's a very great comment by great people. So such kind of, so now Arjuna was an archer, so now he was considered a great archer by others. The same people now will blaspheme him, right? Useless fellow, like this. This you cannot tolerate it, you will not be able to tolerate it. Is more bad than death itself. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant. Arey, hum to soch. That's like, you have example, you know this in cricket. Sometimes, or most of the time, when we used to watch cricket, we used to have nice expectation from Sachin Tendulkar. Oh, he has performed so nicely before. And you know, I heard that in the later part of his career, he was going on 0, 0, 0, 0. Useless. Now you understand? Somebody has performed very nicely, now he cannot make runs, and he's useless. So so similarly, or कहते match fix किया इसने. Maybe he has fixed the match or something like that. They will blaspheme like anything, is it not? Like Ajay Jadeja or something like that. Similarly, here we hear that Arjuna was a great warrior. They have seen how he has fought alone with all of them. Please hear very carefully. Arjuna had fought with all the Kurus alone in the Virat Yuddha. As Birhanala, as a woman, he fought so nicely. Now as a man, you are behaving like this. So that's very amazing, is it not? They would have also said the same thing. As a woman, he fought so strongly. Now as a man, he's fleeing away. Like this. It's what interesting comment by my Guru Maharaj, that people don't see you what you were. They relate to you how you are. Positively as well as negatively. Do you agree? It's a very good point which has come, so I want to deliberate on it. See, every time you discuss something new comes. This point I did not discuss yesterday. Do you relate with this? People in this world, they have very short memories. They don't remember what you have done, what you were, but they just relate with what you are. In a positive sense, you see, Lakhahira was a prostitute. Everybody was knowing she was a prostitute. It's mentioned in the Shastra she was a prostitute, but she went to Haridas Thakur. She was chanting 3 lakh names, and then she became such an exalted Vaishnavi that even great Vaishnavas came to associate and take her association. Jagai Mata is same. Everybody knows, even those of us who have not met them, we also know that they were the greatest sinful people. But by their conversion to Vaishnavism, they become pure devotees, then people could only relate with them as Vaishnavas. And similarly, if a person has been a good person, good devotee or whatever, and somehow that now he is not a devotee, I mean, obviously Krishna remembers, but people will relate to him like that only, is it not? At least the people will relate like that. No, not necessarily Krishna, but people will be like that. So very, very heavy comment. People don't know, positive way or negative way also. People don't, suppose somebody was a sannyasi and he falls down, then people will not respect him in the same way as he was being respected as a sannyasi. So both things are there, is it not? Positive also as there, that even if I have been a rascal number 1, but I can be a hero number 1. And people will relate to me like that. Ah, very nice, very nice. Like Valmiki ji, is it not? And if somebody is a hero number 1, that's like Arjuna, and if he flees the battle, then you will say, no, he's hero number 1, he's useless. So, Bahumato Bhutva Yasasi Laghavam. We'll go forward. Gita Bhushan commentary. But how can I gain infamy from neglecting to fight out of compassion and avoiding the sin of... Freeze हो गया है. चलो, ये हमारा ग्लोरी है इसकी. वृंदावन में some other technology doesn't work. Technology has to give us trouble. Hare Krishna. इधर माता जी कैन सिट हियर इफ यू लाइक दैट, कुर्सी है, किधर बैठ लीजिए, कोई दिक्कत। चलो 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 भाई, चल जाओ। अच्छा वो बता दिए, नहीं तो हम बोलते जाते। एक एक रेफरी जरूर होना चाहिए इस मैच में जो देखता रहे क्या गड़बड़ हो रहा है। ठीक है, ध्यान ही नहीं दिया। इट विल कम, मेरी एडिटिंग बढ़ा देता है। ठीक है, ओके, विल गो फॉरवर्ड। बट हाउ कैन आई गेन इनफेमी? लॉर्ड हैज टोल्ड दैट यू विल हित्वा पापम वापससी। व्हाट वाज दैट श्लोका? धर्मम kirtim hitva, you will give up your dharma and you will give up your fame, and then hitva papam vapsasi, and you will get sin. So now the Lord, if Arjuna asked this question, but how can I gain infamy from neglecting to fight out of compassion and avoiding the sin of destruction of the family? You are saying if I give up my dharma, I'll give up dharma and I'll give up my fame, but you see, I'll become famous as a compassionate person and who avoided the sin of destroying his family. Then Lord said, no, 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 it will not happen. You won't gain fame by this. Then Lord Krishna answers, Maharathas like Duryodhana will think that you have left the battle from fear of Karna and others, not out of compassion for friends. It's amazing. You know that past time when Duryodhana was captured by Gandharvas? Somebody knows? When they were in the, what is that? In the forest. In the forest, what is the Pandavas? So just to make fun of them, that how the Kurus are very enjoying nicely and Pandavas have to live in a life of, how to say, poverty. They came and they were enjoying very nicely. And when Gandharva saw that, it was, I think his name Chitragupta or Chitrarath, something like that. I'm not sure which name, but I think it was the name was Chitraratha. And he understood that these people are envious of Pandavas. So they came and they fought and they captured Duryodhana. So now Karna ran from there. He could not fight with the Gandharvas. Then when Yudhishthira Maharaj heard, then he said, anyways, we may have some difficulties among ourselves, but for outsiders we are one. So then Bhima and Arjuna were sent. So Arjuna fought with the Gandharvas and defeated them completely. Like this. So it is amazing that although Karna could not compete with the Gandharvas and Arjuna could defeat them, but still Karna was always thinking, he's not the thing. Arjuna I can defeat very nicely. So now if Arjuna would have left, then definitely he would have proclaimed, Are dekho, bhagya bas idhar ke. He was fighting because only I was not there. Now since he's seeing me, he's left like this. All those things will be spoken to after. Nobody will think of what is compassion. Warriors do not give up battle out of compassion and do so only out of fear of the enemy. You know, these will be the statements of the opponents. Yuddha mein daya? Ye kahan kshatriya ka dharma hai bhai? What is the point of showing compassion in a yuddha, in a fighting? Kshatriyas don't behave like this. Definitely, conclusion is that he must have become fearful of his life when he's living. Does it make sense? Kshatriyas don't give up battle out of compassion. Previously, those who respected you as a warrior, Bahumata, and worthy opponent who possess many good qualities, Bahumata, will now at the time of battle think that you have given up the battle because you are a coward. You will reap intolerable contempt from them. That I have discussed yesterday also. Again, I'll say it here. A person may be able to tolerate arrows also. But words are so painful that it's very difficult to tolerate. Especially Kshatriyas cannot tolerate. You see, Dhruv Maharaj, what was spoken to him? If you want to become a king, my dear Dhruv, you are a small boy. You don't understand. Who spoke? Suruchi. Suruchi means, what do you say, tasty wife. Means who was too much into enjoyment. And Sunuti means who was always who was always going in good path. Sunuti was the wife was the mother of Dhruv Maharaj. And Suruchi was the mother of Uttam. So you don't understand. Suruchi said, you are son of king, but you are not the son of a queen. We can understand. You are definitely the son of king, Uttanpat, but you are not son of a queen. You are son of a maid servant. That's what she said, actually. You should not think that you deserve to sit in the lap of the king because you are not the son of a queen. Only Rajkumar can, or the prince can sit in the lap of the king because he's the son of king. The king is sometimes associating with the maid servants also. So those people are not called prince. Very, very, very shocking for Dhruv Maharaj. And it was very insulting, and it was bad also because it was not that his mother was not the queen. She was the elder queen actually. But she was so proud, the Suruchi, the tasty one, so to speak. So she was so contemptuous. She said, no, your mother is only a maid servant. And then when he goes back to his mother, Dhruv Maharaj, he's crying, and the mother also crying because she was also very bala. He was very young, not very old. And she said, what to do? Your father only not even considers me as his maid servant. Not even considers me as his maid servant. What to talk, what to do? You have taken birth from my womb. Then the Dhruv Maharaj could not forget that point. And when he goes to forest, and the Narad says, no, you should remain equanimous, be peaceful. I'll go and talk to your father. So, no, I will not listen. If you can help me to achieve the favor of Lord Vishnu, then okay, otherwise you get out of my way. Something like that. Like that. So in order to test Dhruv Maharaj, he was speaking like this. So you see, this was the mood of Kshatriyas, and that's what was appreciated by Naradji. See the mood of the Kshatriyas. Even a small boy, a 5-year boy, cannot tolerate insulting words by his own mother, stepmother also. Then what to talk of Arjuna, who was actually a famed Kshatriya? It's just intolerable. I'm telling you, it's just intolerable. Okay. I read that in Kargil, there was a person who died from Indian army. So before he actually won the battle, but he died in that process. He said, either, it was very inspiring what he spoke. Either I'll bring the flag of India back, or I'll come back wrapped in the flag. Oh, it's really like amazing, isn't it? If I'm speaking it, I feel like Romanch ho raha. It's like, he was knowing that I might get killed, but either I'll win over that place, or I'll come back killed by that people. And he got killed, but he won over that place. But it's just a good spirit, that spirit has to be taken by a Vaishnava. Determination. Whether even I die or lose, but I will not give up my chanting Hare Krishna mantra. This is how a mood of a devotee has to be. We should take inspiration from Kshatriyas. We are a spiritual warrior. I will not give in to sense gratification. I will not give in to Maya. And even if I give in to Maya, Gori lagi bhi, still I will not give up serving Krishna. Does it make sense? That should be the mood of a devotee. Purport. And also courageous also. No, like a timid Vaishnava, cannot preach, I cannot do anything. Prabhuji, can you do some class? No, Prabhuji. Can you preach? No, Prabhuji. Can you take prasadam? Yes, Prabhuji. Then we don't say that I don't deserve to take prasadam. Haridas Thakur was very, very enthusiastic in preaching. But whenever he was asked, you please come and take prasadam with Vaishnavas. No, I am not qualified to take prasadam. You please give me something outside only. But that we don't say. No. I should sit in the first row. But first seat. But when it comes to prasadam of serving, then we say, no. We don't want to exert ourselves. That's the whole problem. Yesterday I read a very beautiful purport by Srila Prabhupada. And he said that, I shared also, I did not share it yet, but it was very nice that every devotee should preach. Every devotee. It's like a tree. It has several branches. And every branch has a fruit of love of God. And all of us are twigs of that tree of Mahaprabhu. Prabhupada says ISKCON is one of the branch of Mahaprabhu's tree. Beautiful, amazing. Every devotee is imperative upon every devotee to connect others to Krishna consciousness. And I will tell you a secret. In this world, if you focus on anything, that will come to pass. If you just think about sense gratification, it will come to you. That's how the universe is designed. And if you think about chanting Hare Krishna nicely, advancing in Krishna consciousness, then how much the opportunities come, you cannot conceive. Purport. Lord Krishna, that's why you should read Srila Prabhupada's books, especially Chaitanya Charitamrita. He speaks so much about preaching, helping others in Krishna consciousness. Lord Krishna continued to give his verdict to Arjuna. Do not think that the great generals like Duryodhana, Karna and other contemporaries will think that you have left the battlefield out of compassion for your brothers and grandfather. They will think that you have left out of fear for your life, and thus their high estimation of your personality will go to hell. This is okay.